Hey everybody, today I'm going to work in my family room a little bit, try to clean it up, and I'm going to spot clean my rug and try to get some of the dust out of my house. So I hope you'll stick around with me and clean with me for a while, and like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I don't know about y'all, but I find stuff in my couch all the time. I mean, look at that. It's just a mess. And that was a dog treat, by the way, that I picked up. I have 2 little dogs, and we find the remnants of their dog treats all over the house. And the crumbs from those dog treats are always in my couch and usually in my bed. And all you can do is vacuum them away, but they're everywhere. But that was a pretty nasty sight, so sorry about that. That's just real life in my house. And this is the part where I go to spot clean my rug. So I was going to explain how I did that. My rug is just a really cheap little rug from Walmart, and I wanted it in the middle of the floor just so that we would have a comfortable spot to sit on, because sometimes we sit right there in front of the couch. But that rug, it collects all kinds of stuff, and well, dog treat crumbs for one thing, but it also, we spill things and it just stays a mess. But I think I only paid about $20 for this rug at Walmart. And so I usually just spot clean it, and it comes really clean. And I'm kind of impressed that it has looked as good as it has for, I think I've had it for 2 years now. And I just usually spray the spots with OxiClean, and then I let that sit for about 4 or 5 minutes while I go and get a bucket of warm water. And then I have a brush, a pretty wide brush. That's the brush that I use. I think I got it either from Dollar Tree or Dollar General store. It wasn't very expensive. And I just dip it in the warm water and scrub the spots. And I mean, it's not very hard to do. It doesn't take a long time. And usually when I'm finished with it, it looks good as new. I do sometimes have to lay it over the coffee table, because sometimes it gets a little wetter than I want it to. Sometimes it will just dry pretty good because it's right under my ceiling fan. But sometimes I lay it over that little black table, and that's just a little cheap black table actually from Big Lots. It's not really even a coffee table. But It comes pretty clean. That's a pretty rough spot right there where something spilled on it, but I mean, it came right out. So it's very easy to clean, and OxyClean is what I use. You'll see that in just a minute. And I found that also works like on my couch and some of my furniture. You just have to be careful with the brush, because some material will you know how it will ball up if you are too rough with the brush. But it hasn't been a problem on my carpet, on that little rug yet. So, and by the way, that floor, my floor is painted concrete actually, and if you're interested in that, I'll talk a little bit more about that later. My floor is actually just the painted concrete that was in my house. I had carpet for several years when my daughter was little. I mean, when you have a baby, you want them to, not be on a rough floor. That carpet, it was good carpet. It lasted a long time. It was very comfortable. And yes, carpet keeps your room a little warmer. But it got to the point that even though I was cleaning it, it seemed like the more I cleaned the carpet, the worse it got. I guess because I was taking the Scotch Guard or whatever off of it. But I decided I couldn't afford the floor that I wanted, and I decided that I was just going to rip it up and deal with the concrete underneath. And it was a huge job. There was a lot involved, and so I ended up struggling through it. Actually, I went to several of the big stores trying to get help and find out what to use. Nobody really recommended me doing that, and I could not move my family out while I did it to use the things they were recommending. So I just kind of had to struggle through it myself and figure out what worked, and I tested little areas, and I finally did it, and it's held up. It's been almost 3 years now since I've done the floor, and I'm so pleased with it. It is so easy to clean, it's easy to mop, and it's just so much better than what I had. It's not holding dirt and dust, and I mean, I recommend it. I could tell you how I did it. If anybody's interested in that, leave me a comment below. But it is a long process. It's a lot of standing. You can't just rip your carpet up and paint the floor, paint the concrete. There really were a lot of steps involved, but I don't mind sharing that if anybody's interested. I actually did a video, most of me doing that, but then it was on my phone, and my phone died after that, and I lost all my videos. So I can tell you how I did it though, if anybody's interested in that. But it is great. I do love it, and I do recommend it. I love carpet, but if you can't change out carpet every few years, then it's not for me. If I can't change it out and have new fresh clean carpet every 4 or 5 years, then I don't need to have it. But this worked great, and I've been very pleased with it, and it's held up really well. Yes, you just saw me cover up the bad spot on my end table with a trivet. That's what I do. I just cover up the bad spots. But for right now, I just make do with what I have. Those end tables are really good tables and they're pretty old. And I do plan to refinish those one day. But because my kids and dogs are just rough on furniture, but I figured that while I had kids and dogs in the house that I would just leave it and deal with it. I'm using Wood for Good cleaner from Method right there on all my wood items, and it smells so good. That was a sock. We find socks in the craziest places, and that's only one. We have about 50 more socks that are missing, and I always wonder if everybody else loses socks like we do. I always wonder what other people use when they mop, and since I did paint my floor, I'm real careful about what I put on it. But sometimes I use just a little bit of vinegar with warm water, like maybe a fourth a cup of vinegar. And then sometimes I use the liquid Lysol cleaner, just a fourth a cup of that with warm water. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe and come back and visit me again.